I'm Jeremiah McKinnon, and this is NEC News Today. Here now are the top cannabis news stories from around New England for April 7th, 2023. A cannabis club is formed in Cambridge that hosts private events that allow cannabis to be consumed on site. A co-owner of the Yamba Market dispensary in Cambridge has launched another project that focuses on an important aspect of the cannabis community. The group, called Diaspora, holds private events for its members where cannabis is allowed to be consumed on site. According to reporting from the Boston Business Journal, the group held their most recent event at the former John Harvard Brewery building in Cambridge. The club is a first for the Boston area to host cannabis consumption events, with the Summit Lounge in Worcester being the only other site known to allow for cannabis consumption in the state. Diaspora doesn't own a space for their members to come together, but the organizers have been able to make arrangements with venues to host their events so far. The group has plans to host a special event on April 20th to celebrate the cannabis holiday of 420 at the former John Harvard Brewery building, 35 Dunster Street in Cambridge. A new cannabis brand started by Ben & Jerry's co-founder Ben Cohen has been formed in Vermont. Ben Cohen, one of the founders of the popular ice cream brand Ben & Jerry's, has announced the formation of a cannabis brand that will donate their proceeds to noteworthy causes. Ben's Best Blends, or B3, is incorporated as a Vermont nonprofit organization. According to the B3 website, the company licenses their formulas, packaging, and trademarks to for-profit businesses so they can manufacture and distribute B3 branded products. Companies pay a royalty to B3 in exchange. B3 has committed to donating all proceeds after expenses to help right the wrongs of the drug war. According to an article from Fast Company, B3 has chosen 3 organizations to donate their proceeds to, including 10% to the Last Prisoner Project, 10% to the Vermont Racial Justice Alliance, with the remaining 80% being distributed in collaboration with New Project, a group that works to increase success outcomes for cannabis entrepreneurs and professionals of color. A medical marijuana dispensary blocked by this town of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, over their proposed location's proximity to a trampoline park recently had the special permit denial overturned by a judge. The company, RMI Compassion Center, planned to open their store on Diamond Hill Road, but was denied a special permit in the spring of 2022 by local officials. According to reporting from the Providence Business Journal, the Superior Court judge ruled that the town of Woonsocket made an error of law when they denied the special permit. Town officials had claimed that the local zoning ordinance prevented them from approving a dispensary that was located in an area where children or minors commonly congregate. There was no such requirement in the town ordinance, according to the judge, and the only language in the ordinance that refers to proximity between marijuana establishments and schools, youth centers, and licensed daycare centers applies to cultivators, which RMI Compassion Center is not. The state of Connecticut has collected quite a bit of money in fees, and officials are working on their plans to use some of the funds. With nearly $60 million collected from the lottery and licensing fees related to cannabis, Connecticut is taking steps to allocate a majority of the funds towards equity initiatives that seek to address the damage inflicted by the war on drugs. According to reporting from Connecticut Insider, the state's Social Equity Council's Community Reinvestment Committee is working on the plan that outlines how the funds will be utilized. A large portion of the $59 million in fees came from the state's lottery system that allowed applicants to submit an unlimited number of license applications across multiple categories. Some entities paid to submit hundreds of lottery applications to increase their chances of being chosen. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu recently sidestepped a question about why his state doesn't have legal marijuana for adults on a recent television appearance. New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu dismissed cannabis legalization during an interview on the popular HBO talk show Real Time with Bill Maher. When the host, Bill Maher, asked why the state, known for its live free or die motto, does not hold that view when it comes to legalized marijuana, Sununu's response lacked substance. Sununu's only response was to ask, who calls it pot anymore? New Hampshire has fallen behind other states in reforming their marijuana laws. Governor Sununu has been a vocal opponent against cannabis legalization. The Granite State is the only New England state that has not already legalized adult-use cannabis. Last but not least, a Maine judge told town officials that they would have to respect the will of voters if residents voted to restrict cannabis businesses to a certain size. Residents in Old Orchard Beach are waiting until June 13th to weigh in on whether cannabis businesses in town should be limited to parcels of land less than 21,780 square feet and buildings with no more than 1,000 square feet. According to reporting from Maine Biz, over 600 residents submitted a petition to the town to adopt their request as an amendment to the cannabis ordinance in October. The controversy arose after the town scheduled the vote to take place in the summer of 2023, but began accepting applications to operate a cannabis business in March. A judge in Maine Superior Court issued a preliminary injunction that requires the town to respect the decision that is made by the voters in June. If the limits are passed, the town would be expected to stop businesses that are too large from proceeding. For the absolute latest New England Cannabis News, head on over to necnewstoday.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video. Subscribe to NEC News Today for more great content, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode of the show. For New England Cannabis News Today, this is Jeremiah McKinnon, reminding you to always use cannabis responsibly and to enjoy your cannabis-filled adventures throughout New England.